In the middle of the vast Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from any continent, lies the most isolated inhabited place on Earth. We call it Easter Island. The locals call it Rapa Nui. It is a land of stark, volcanic beauty, but it is also home to one of the most enduring mysteries in human history. Giant stone figures, some towering 40 feet high and weighing over 80 tons, stand silent guard, their backs to the unforgiving sea. They are known as the Moai. They were carved from solid rock by a civilization that possessed no wheels, no draft animals, and no metal tools. A civilization that, upon first European contact, seemed to be on the brink of collapse. Who were these people? How did they quarry, transport, and erect these colossal statues? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, where did they go? The story of Rapa Nui is more than just an archaeological puzzle. It is a haunting parable of innovation, ambition, and collapse. A story that might be a warning for all of us. To understand the mystery, we must first go back in time. Long before the first European ships scarred the horizon, intrepid Polynesian navigators crossed thousands of miles of open ocean. Sometime around 800 to 1200 AD, they found Rapa Nui. But the island they found was not the barren grassland we see today. Scientific evidence buried deep in the soil tells a different story. Pollen analysis reveals that Rapa Nui was once a subtropical paradise. It was covered in a dense forest, including a species of giant palm tree, now extinct, that grew up to 60 feet tall. The land was filled with birds, and the surrounding waters teemed with fish. The first settlers, likely just a few families, thrived. Their population grew. They were masters of the sea and skilled farmers. They built villages, established complex social structures, and most importantly, they began to carve. Why? Why did they channel such enormous resources into carving these giant figures? The leading theory is that the Moai represented deified ancestors. They were protectors, symbols of power, status, and piety. Each clan, each village, may have competed to build larger, more magnificent Moai to honor their lineage and assert their dominance. The main quarry, Rano Raraku, is a silent testament to this obsession. It is a volcanic crater that became a statue factory. Hundreds of Moai remain here, frozen in time. Some are fully carved, seemingly ready for transport. Others are mere outlines in the rock face, their creators having simply stopped. This assembly line of giants fell silent, and for centuries, no one knew why. Let us consider the sheer scale of this operation. The average Moai is about 13 feet, 4 meters, tall, and weighs 14 tons. The largest one ever erected, known as Paro, was over 33 feet, 10 meters, tall and weighed a staggering 82 tons. The largest one left in the quarry, El Gigante, is nearly 70 feet long and would have weighed 270 tons. These were carved from tuff, a compressed volcanic ash. While softer than granite, it still required immense effort, using only stone tools called toki. Archaeologists estimate it would take a team of carvers over a year to complete a single statue. But carving them was only the first problem. The second was moving them. The Moai were carved at Rano Raraku, but they were erected on massive stone platforms called ahu, all along the coastline, miles away. How did a society without wheels, cranes, or animals move 80-ton statues across rugged, hilly terrain? For decades, the prevailing theory involved logs. The islanders, it was thought, felled their giant palm trees, laid them down as rollers, and laboriously pulled the statues on wooden sledges. This theory seemed plausible. It explained the massive effort, and it also provided the first dark clue to the island's fate. The trees were used as rollers, until there were no trees left. But this theory has been challenged. In the 1980s, experimental archaeologist Pavel, along with the famed explorer Thor Heyerdahl, tested a different hypothesis, one based on the islanders' own oral traditions. The legend said the statues didn't slide, they walked. By attaching ropes to the head and base of a replica, they found that by rocking the statue side to side, they could pivot it forward in a walking motion. The Moai's design, A low center of gravity and a D-shaped base seems perfectly engineered for this. It required fewer people and crucially fewer trees, perhaps only for guide ropes. In 2011, archaeologists Terry Hunt and Carl Lipo replicated this experiment with a multi-ton replica. They proved it was not only possible, but surprisingly efficient. The broken statues found along the island's ancient roads were not failures. They were statues that tripped and fell during their walk. And the Moai held another secret. For generations, we saw them only as heads. But excavations revealed what the Rapa Nui always knew. The statues have bodies, full torsos, sometimes decorated with intricate carvings buried deep in the soil, preserved from erosion. They weren't just heads, they were full figures, watching over their land. The islanders achieved the impossible. They made the stone walk. But this golden age was not to last. When Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen arrived on Easter Sunday 1722, giving the island its European name, he found a catastrophe. He described a sparse population of perhaps 2,000 people, living in squalor. They had few seaworthy canoes and seemed destitute. He saw the giant statues and was baffled, writing that these people could not be the creators of such monuments. So, what happened? The most famous theory, popularized by scientist Jared Diamond, is ecocide, a self-inflicted environmental collapse. The theory goes like this. As the population grew, competition between clans intensified. The Moai fever escalated. More statues meant more power, which meant more resources. To move the statues, either by walking or rolling, and to build canoes for fishing, they cut down the trees. They cleared land for agriculture. They cut and cut and cut. Eventually, the last giant palm tree fell. The consequences were immediate and catastrophic. Without trees, they could not build strong canoes for deep-sea fishing. Dolphins and tuna disappeared from their diet. Without tree cover, the island's rich volcanic soil eroded, washing into the sea. Crop yields plummeted. Society turned on itself. Starvation led to warfare. Oral traditions speak of a dark period. People fled to caves. Cannibalism, evidenced by cut marks on human bones, became a desperate reality. And in their rage, the people turned against the very gods who had failed them. A period known as the Huri Moai began. Rival clans toppled each other's statues, symbols of their rivals' power. By the mid-19th century, not a single Moai was left standing on its platform. The civilization that had raised giants was left broken, amid the ruins of its own creation. This story of ecocide is powerful. It is a terrifying parable for our own resource-hungry planet. But in recent years, a more complex picture has emerged. Archaeologists like Terry Hunt and Carl Lipo argue that this traditional narrative is incomplete. They propose a different culprit for the deforestation. Not just humans, but rats. The Polynesian navigators didn't come alone. They brought rats on their canoes. With no natural predators on the island, the rat population exploded into the millions. These rats fed on the seeds and nuts of the giant palm. Archaeologists found countless palm nuts preserved in caves, all of them gnawed by rats, preventing the forest from regenerating. The islanders were cutting trees, yes, but the rats were eating the future. And what about the final collapse? The ecocide theory places the collapse before European contact. But new evidence suggests the Rapa Nui population was actually stable, perhaps even recovering when Roggeveen arrived. The real death blow, this theory argues, came later. European diseases like smallpox and tuberculosis, for which the islanders had no immunity. And most brutally, the Peruvian slave raids of the 1860s. Slavers abducted over 1,500 people, half the remaining population, including the island's leaders and wise men, to work in horrific conditions. By the time a few survivors were returned, they brought back diseases that wiped out most of the rest. The knowledge, the history, the ability to read their unique written language, Rongorongo, was lost forever. It was not just ecocide, it was genocide. Today, Rapa Nui is slowly reclaiming its heritage. Many statues have been painstakingly re-erected, standing once more as silent witnesses to their people's incredible story. The truth of the collapse is likely a tragic combination of all factors. a story of a resilient people trapped on a fragile island. They faced deforestation, likely caused by their own actions, and an invasive species. They endured internal conflict. And finally, they were shattered by the outside world. The Rapa Nui paradox is not a simple story of self-destruction. It is a story of ingenuity, resilience, and fragility. It teaches us that civilization is a delicate balance. The Moai were carved to watch over the people, not the sea. They stared inland at the world of the living. Their warning is not about what lies beyond the horizon, but what happens within our own society, on our own island. Our planet is an island. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.